Hello students, so we are doing biomolecules and in previous video we were discussing about the enzymes. So today we'll continue the enzymes and in this video we are going to discuss about the factors influencing the enzyme activity. So let's start one by one. So first is temperature. An enzyme is active within a narrow range of temperature. The temperature at which an enzyme shows its highest activity is called optimum temperature. It generally corresponds to the body temperature of warm-blooded animals, for example 37 degrees Celsius in human being. Enzyme activity decrease above and below this temperature. Enzyme become inactive below the minimum temperature and beyond maximum temperature. Low temperature preserves the enzyme in the inactive state. Therefore, it is used in preservation of the food inside a cold storage. Low temperature present inside cold storage prevents spoilage of the food by two methods, that is inactivity of the enzyme present inside the food articles and non-activity of the microbes because their enzymes also become inactive at low temperature. High temperature destroy enzymes by causing their denaturation. This occurs at 50 degrees Celsius or so. In between the minimum and maximum temperature, the reaction velocity doubles for every rise in 10 degrees Celsius. General rule of thumb, a time factor appear beyond the optimum temperature. Here there is a rise in velocity of the short time followed by a sharp fall. As opposed to warm-blooded or homothermal animals, that is mammals and birds, there are cool-blooded or poikilothermal animals like reptiles, amphibians, fishes, invertebrates whose body temperature rise or fall with that of the environmental temperature. These animals cannot live in very hot or very cold environment as enzyme functioning will be impaired. Because of this reason, frogs seek moist, shady environment during summer and lies in an inactive form, that is hibernation, in the deeper layer of the soil during the winter. Now next is optimum pH. Every enzyme every enzyme has an optimum pH when it is most effective. A rise or fall in pH reduces the enzyme activity by changing the degree of ionization of its side chain. A change in pH may also start a reverse reaction. Fumarase catalyze fumarate to produce malate at 6.2 pH and reverse at 7.5 pH. Most of the intracellular enzymes function near neutral pH with the exception of several digestive enzymes which work either in acidic range of pH or alkaline, for example 2 pH for pepsin and 8.5 for the trypsin. Next is enzyme concentration. The rate of biochemical reaction rise with the increase in the enzyme concentration up to a point called limiting or saturation point. Beyond this, increase in enzyme concentration has little effect. Next is product concentration. It is product if the products are allowed to remain in the area of the reaction, the rate of forward reaction will fall. The reverse reaction can also start. Activator is the next property. They increase activity of the enzymes. For example, chloride for salivary amylase function as cofactor. For example, potassium ion, magnesium ion, manganese ion, and convert the proenzymes to enzyme state. Hydrochloric acid of digestive juice change proenzyme pepsinogen to the enzyme pepsin. Pepsin also possesses autocatalytic property as it can also change pepsinogen to the pepsin state. Next is protein poison. Cyanide, azides, iodoacetate and salt of heavy metal destroy the tertiary structure of the enzymes by either combining with the cofactor or group of apoenzyme. Now next is radiation energy. High energy radiation break hydrogen bond ionic bonds, and other weak linkage to destroy enzyme structure. Substrate concentration. Increase in the substrate concentration increase the rate of reaction. The enhanced rate is due to two factors: the occupation of more and more active site by the substrate molecule, higher number of collision between the substrate molecules. The rise in velocity is quite high in the beginning, but it decreases progressively with the increase in substrate concentration. If a graph is plotted for substrate concentration versus reaction velocity, it appears as hyperbolic curve. A stage is reached where velocity is maximum. It does not increase further by increasing the substrate concentration. At this stage, the enzyme molecule becomes fully saturated and no active site is left free to bind additional substrate molecule. This saturation effect is shown by all enzymes. Because of this, Victor Henry in 1903 proposed the formation of enzyme substrate complex as an essential step in enzyme catalysis. Now next we have is Mercalli's constant. Okay, so it is a mathematical derivation or constant which indicate that the substrate concentration at which the chemical reaction catalyzed by an enzyme attain half its maximum velocity. Okay, constant was given forth by Leona Mercalli and Manton, okay, in 1913. Km or Mercalli-Manton constant generally lies between the 10 to the power minus 1 to 10 to the power minus 6 m. Km indicate affinity of the enzyme for its substrate. A high Km indicate low affinity while a low Km show the strong affinity. If an enzyme act on more than one substrate, it shows different Km values for them. Thus, enzyme protease act on large number of protein. Its Km value will differ from protein to protein. Allosteric enzymes do not show a typical Mercalli-Manton constant or behavior. The classical hyperbolic curve is replaced by sigmoid saturation curve. Now next we will discuss about the activation energy. Activation energy. Most of the chemical reaction do not start automatically because the reactant molecule have an energy barrier to become reactive. The energy barrier may be an account of mutual repulsion due to presence of electrons over their surface, that is solvation or holding of the reactant in the solution formed by hydrogen bond. Next can be reaction sites of the reactive molecules being small. Precise collision do not occur. Therefore, an external supply of energy is needed for the start of the chemical reaction. It is called activation energy. Activation energy increase the kinetic energy of the system and bring about forceful collision between the reactants. The requirement of activation energy is quite high. For example, acidic hydrolysis of the sucrose require 32,000 calorie per mole of energy. As already noted, about 1000 chemical reaction are taking place in a cell at any time. Activation energy required for such a large number of reaction cannot be provided by living system. Enzyme lower the activation energy required for a reaction. For example, in presence of enzyme sucrase or invertase, hydrolysis of sucrose require an activation energy of 9000 calorie per mole instead of 32,000 calorie per mole. This is achieved by four ways: desolvation or taking the reactant out of solution state, establishing weak bond between reactant and enzyme. It releases energy called the bond energy. Next is bringing the reactant molecule closer in the region of active site of the enzyme. Next is development of the strain in bond of the reactant by electrophilic and the nucleophilic attack. Next one is formation of unstable intermediate structural state, collectively called the transition state. During the transition state, the substrate bond are broken and new bond are established that transform the substrate molecule into the product. In exothermic reaction, the energy content of the product is lower than that of the substrate. It is higher in case of endothermic reaction. However, whether the reaction is endothermic or exothermic, energy is required for pushing the substrate molecule into transition state. The difference in the energy level of the substrate and transition state, is the activation energy required to start the reaction. Now let's discuss the mode of enzyme action. There are two viewpoints by which the enzymes are supposed to bring about chemical reaction. So first one is lock and key hypothesis. It was put forward by Emil Fischer in 1894. According to this hypothesis, both enzymes and substrate molecule have specific geometrical shape. In the region of active site, the surface configuration of enzyme is such as to allow the particular substrate molecule to bind to be held over it. The active site also contains special group having NH2, COOH, SH for establishing contact with the substrate molecule. The contact is such that the substrate molecule or reactant come together, causing the chemical change. It is similar to the system or the lock and key. Just as lock can be opened by its specific key, a substrate molecule can be acted open by a particular enzyme. This also explains the specificity of the enzyme action. Next is, after coming in contact with the active site of the enzyme, the substrate molecule or the reactant form a complex called the enzyme substrate complex. In the complex state, the molecule of the substrate undergo chemical change. The product remain attached to the enzyme for some time so that an enzyme product complex is also formed. However, the product are soon released and freed enzyme is able to bind more substrate molecules. Thus, we see that chemical reactants do not cause any alternation in the composition or physiology of the enzyme. Same enzyme molecule can also again and again can be used again and again. Hence, enzymes are required in very small concentration. Now, evidences can be traced. Blow and Stiers have found that formation of complex between the enzyme chymotrypsin and its substrate. Okay, the Kalin and Mon have observed that the absorption spectra of the same enzyme are different in the free state and in the presence of the substrate. Induced fit theory is also there. So it is modification of lock and key hypothesis which was proposed by Cosland in 1959. According to this theory, the active site of enzyme contain two groups, that is buttressing and catalytic. The buttressing group is meant for supporting the substrate. The catalytic group is able to weaken the bond of reactant by the electrophilic and nucleophilic force. The two groups are normally at a distance as soon as the substrate come in contact with the buttressing group. The active site of the enzyme undergoes conformational change as on to bring the catalytic group opposite the substrate bond to be broken. Catalytic group help in bringing about chemical reaction. The substrate is converted into product. The product is unable to hold on butter stressing site due to change in its structure and bonds. Buttressing group revert to its original position. The product is released. Now next is the catalyst and the enzymes. Okay, so catalysts are inorganic substance which increase the rate of reaction without themselves undergoing any change and without modifying the equilibrium of the reaction. Enzymes are similar chemicals which are biological in origin and operate in biochemical world. Now let's discuss some similarities. Unchanged. Both catalyst and enzyme remain unchanged chemically and quantitatively at the end of the reaction so that they can be used over and over again. Quantity, they are retained in minute quantity as compared to their substrate. Reversibility, reaction controlled by both the catalyst and enzyme are theoretically reversible, though reversibility is dependent upon different kinetics. Equilibrium, they do not change the equilibrium of the reaction. Reaction velocity, both catalyst and enzyme increase the rate of reaction, that is chemical reaction. They do not initiate the reaction. Activation energy, they lower the activation energy required for starting the chemical reaction. Next is complexes, they form short-lived complex with the substrate molecule. Okay, the end product of the reaction are not changed by the catalyst and the enzymes. Dear student, we'll continue enzyme in the next video. I'll conclude the video today here itself and we'll continue the rest of the part in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.